Hi there, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. My name is Lynn and I pulled us a daily card. And this is from the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck in case anyone is interested. I'll just show you. It's a really cool deck. So the card that came out for us today is number 5, Follow Your Own Rhythm. So the message with this card is to stop trying to live according to someone else's timing, expectations, rules, or definition of how your life should unfold. Your own inner rhythm knows when it's time to move, when it's time to wait, when it's time to rest, and when it's time to begin again. This card is associated with authenticity, intuition, timing, self-trust, and releasing pressure to keep up with everyone else. It can be about listening to your body and your inner voice. It could represent recognizing when you need action versus rest, and moving in a way that nourishes you rather than drains you. Okay? Follow your own rhythm. It doesn't mean do whatever you want. It's saying that we all have an internal rhythm that is different from everybody else's. Okay? If you've been thinking like you should be further along by now, or you should have figured this out already, or why isn't this happening yet, or everyone else seems to know what they're doing, maybe you're taking too long, maybe you should do what other people expect of you, maybe you need to push harder, maybe you need to make a decision right now. If you are thinking any of those, then this card is saying absolutely no. It's time to come back to yourself, because your timing doesn't have to match anybody else's. Okay? Stop dancing to somebody else's music. We can spend years unconsciously living according to someone else's rhythm. Spirit is saying stop that, okay? We can spend years unconsciously living according to someone else's expectations, or someone else's needs, or someone else's timetable, or someone else's definition of success, or someone else's idea of what a relationship should look like, or someone else's idea of what you're supposed to tolerate, okay? Or someone else's idea of who you're supposed to be. Then eventually you lose touch with your own beat. And so this card is asking you, what do you actually want? Okay? Don't live your life according to other people's expectations or other people's needs or timetable or what their definition of success is, okay, or what their idea of what a relationship should look like, or their idea of what you're supposed to tolerate. of who you're supposed to be. No, 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 no. Okay? What Spirit is saying is, don't live your life to make everyone else happy, okay? What do you actually want? Not what would make everyone else happy, okay? Not what would prevent someone from being disappointed, not what would look good to other people, not what you're supposed to want. What feels good to you? Because this card is also about timing. Sometimes following your own rhythm means moving forward. It's time to move forward. Your intuition may be telling you to go, or it may be saying wait, or it might be telling you to rest, or this isn't right anymore, or you're not ready yet, and that's okay. You're trusting your intuition. Your rhythm isn't necessarily fast, it's right for you. It's recognizing when it's time to act and when it's time to rest and replenish. There's a huge message about self-trust here. Spirit is telling you with this card to trust yourself. Because if you don't trust yourself, you will constantly look outside yourself for instructions. Like maybe you're asking, well, what should I do in a certain situation? And then you look at everybody else's opinions. But this card is telling you, don't do that. This card is asking you, what do you feel? What does your intuition tell you? What happens inside you when you imagine each choice? Which direction gives you a sense of peace rather than pressure? Follow the direction that gives you peace. This card can sometimes appear when someone has been overthinking a decision or maybe looking for external confirmation. You don't need that. You just go within. Honor your own timing and your own inner knowing, rather than waiting for complete certainty. Okay? So right now, if you're listening to this reading, if you've been thinking there's a situation in your life and you've got a whole bunch of questions and you're not sure what to do, you're not sure how to think about it, you're not sure what to say, if you should act, if you should just withdraw, say nothing. What's the message that Spirit has for you today is you honor your own timing, do what's best for you when it's best for you, and honor your own inner knowing. Okay? Trust yourself. Trust your intuition. Trust what you feel. Trust what your heart and soul are telling you. Don't wait for anyone or anything. Don't wait for complete certainty on a situation. This card is also telling you that you're coming out of an old version of yourself. And which means your rhythm can change. The person you were 5 years ago may have wanted one thing, and now the person you are now may want something completely different. And you don't have to apologize for that, okay? You're allowed to say that what worked for you then doesn't work for you anymore. You've grown. You outgrew it. You're allowed to outgrow things like relationships, routines, beliefs, expectations, obligations, environments, ways of thinking, versions of yourself. We should be always growing and evolving. Sometimes when you start changing, people around you may not understand it. You're not being difficult. You're just becoming more authentic, more you. And if we're thinking about pressure when it comes to this card, if you're feeling like you're feeling some pressure with a situation in your life, thoughts, a person, this card is telling you you don't have to force everything. Okay? There's a difference between effort and forcing. Effort says you're moving towards something you genuinely want, and forcing says you're terrified that if you don't make this happen right now, everything will fall apart. This card is encouraging the first. Okay? Move towards something, anything, whatever that means to you. Move towards something that you genuinely want. And this card is also, this card also pushes rest. Okay? Don't underestimate the importance of rest. Following your own rhythm doesn't mean constantly taking action. Sometimes your soul's rhythm is to stop, rest, be quiet, take a break. Don't make any decisions today. Let yourself breathe. You don't always have to be productive. Sometimes people can become so focused on schedules and completing tasks that they ignore their own need to pause and replenish. So, this is a specific message for some of you. If you've been feeling like you need permission to slow down, then this card can absolutely be that permission. Okay? Come back to yourself. For some of you, something about your life may be asking you to stop measuring yourself against other people. Stop comparing your progress. Stop worrying about whether you're behind. Stop forcing an answer. Stop trying to make everything happen according to a predetermined timeline. Just listen, feel, notice, and then move when you know it's time. If you're thinking about a specific situation right now, the message is from Spirit, don't make your decision based solely on what other people think you should do. Instead, ask yourself, if nobody else had an opinion about this situation, what would you choose? Okay? Are you doing this because you genuinely want to or because you feel you should? That's a really good question to ask yourself. And does this rhythm feel like your rhythm, or are you trying to keep up with somebody else's? If you're thinking about a relationship right now, the message with this card is don't abandon yourself to maintain the relationship. You don't have to move faster than you're comfortable with. You don't have to accept somebody else's timetable. You don't have to constantly accommodate someone else's emotional rhythm. And you don't have to make yourself smaller so someone else can be comfortable. A healthy connection allows two people's rhythms to coexist. If you're thinking about money or your career right now, the message with this card is don't panic because your path isn't progressing at the same speed as someone else's. Your career may take a different route. Your opportunity may arrive later. Your financial progress may happen in stages. This card isn't saying do nothing. It's saying don't make fear-driven decisions because you think you're behind. And spiritually, the message with this card is know that your spiritual development doesn't happen on a straight line. You may have periods of intense growth, followed by periods where nothing seems to happen, and then suddenly something clicks. That's a rhythm. Growth, rest, integration, growth. You don't have to be constantly working on yourself. Sometimes the quiet period is part of the growth. And if we look at the shadow side of this card, because every oracle card has a lesson about what happens when we move away from its energy. So the shadow side, the shadow of this card, follow your own rhythm, would be like living according to everybody else's expectations while ignoring your own inner voice. Okay? That could look like constantly asking others what you should do, or comparing your life to others, or rushing because you're afraid of falling behind, or staying somewhere because you're afraid of disappointing someone, or feeling guilty when you rest, forcing outcomes, ignoring your intuition, believing you need permission. You don't need permission, or thinking your life should look different by now. This card is telling you to come back to your own beat, okay? Don't ask anybody else what you should do. You know what to do. Go inside. The answer is there. Don't compare your life to others. Everybody's on their own path. Everybody has their own lesson to learn. Don't rush because you're afraid you're going to fall behind. Don't stay anywhere because you're afraid of disappointing someone. You need to be true to yourself. definitely don't feel guilty when you need to rest. Rest is a form of self-worth. Don't force any outcomes. Everything has to happen in divine timing. Never ignore your intuition. You definitely don't need permission from anyone. This is your life. And don't think your life should look different by now. You're exactly where you need to be. You don't need to rush your life. You don't need to live according to anyone else's timetable. There is nothing wrong with the pace at which you are becoming who you are. You need to listen to yourself, your body, your intuition, your heart, and your deeper knowing. They're all giving you information. Stop overriding them. When it's time to move, move. When it's time to rest, rest. When it's time to let go, let go. When it's time to begin again, begin. You're not behind. You're moving according to your own rhythm, okay? You don't have to keep up. You just have to stay true. So that is our messages for today. Let me know how it goes. If any of those resonated with you, drop me a heart. I would love to hear from you. And have an awesome day. Take good care of yourself. Bye.